From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
American Door Company has been family-owned and operated for over 29 years, supplying Northern California with quality garage doors, garage door openers, and installed with the best service you'd expect from a locally owned company. We serve all of Northern California from Willows all the way to the Oregon state line. Give us a call today.
Well, it's finally Friday. The weekend is almost here. We got a lot of great events going on this weekend. We've got Red Bluff Roundup. We got Cool April Nights. It's kind of kicking off today. And of course, as we go through next week as well. But today, we still have a slight chance for a few showers in the forecast. Now, it's mainly going to be in the Modoc, Eastern Lassen County. We'll take a closer look at that here with Futurecast here in just a bit. Still a bit breezy at times. You know, as I look at Futurecast, we look at the winds. It's going to be off and on. No major wind events, just kind of that breezy, borderline windy conditions at times, generally from the north. Now, it's going to be mainly dry and warm through the weekend, and I say mainly because there's a little bit of kink in there, especially on Saturday for the coast, with the cooling trend through next week. And on top of that, still a chance for showers. But I will say this. Forecast models this morning are really backing off on the intensity of the rain and even the chances for rain. So I'm not 100% sold that we're going to see a lot of rainfall, but I'm still not 100% sold that we won't see rain. So it's kind of one of those things, again, we have to keep monitoring it here closely. Here's your neighborhood at a glance. We've got temperatures, again, much like yesterday, low 80s for the valley, mainly in the 70s for the mountains, but there's Modoc County, Eastern Mountains. Again, I've got that isolated chance for a few showers and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm as well. As I mentioned, the big kickoff is tonight for Cool April Nights. It starts at 4 o'clock this evening. It's going to be the Spring Fest car and bike show. It's always a good time out there, and you know what? It actually may be a little bit on the warm side. Sunscreen, water, drink plenty of it. You know, it's kind of that time of the year where we're just beginning to get used to those warmer temperatures moving in, so we've just got to make sure we take care of ourselves. And then, of course, as the sun begins to set, we drop down into the 70s for this for the second half or the latter part of the show. So should be a lot of fun, and weather-wise, we don't have to worry about rain, at least for now. Let's take a look at your forecast winds, and you can see as we take you through the afternoon today, yeah, nothing really going on. The winds may pick up a little bit, but I wouldn't even call it breezy, but just a little bit stronger with those winds. Now, we go into your Saturday morning. Again, nothing to be concerned about. Look what happens, though, as we go into Saturday afternoon. We begin to see more of a wind, upwards of 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now, again, you'll notice it's kind of spotty. You know, you go down to Willows, 4 miles per hour, and you go down to Chico, 13, but 23 in Redding. So again, off and on breezy conditions here, especially for the second half of the day on Saturday. Now we go into your Sunday morning. Look at that, a bit of a north breeze coming in, so a little gusty winds possibly for this Sunday morning, not to mention out along the coast. So again, just one of those things that don't be surprised if those winds kind of pick up at times. A few clouds kind of coming through this morning. Those should, for the most part, begin to dissipate as high pressure is still that dominant feature. Now, when we look at Futurecast, you can see that, yes, as we go through the afternoon, Modoc County, and I've even got the chance for Eastern Lassen and Plumas counties to see a chance for a few stray showers. Is this going to be a big deal? Probably not. As I mentioned, there may be even an isolated thunderstorm embedded in here as well, but mainly just a few stray showers late in the day today for Modoc, Eastern Lassen, and Eastern Plumas counties. The rest of us will be dry with mostly sunny skies. Now we take you into your Saturday. Remember that little kink I was talking about, mainly dry through the weekend? Just a little bit of some light showers trying to kick in here for Saturday around noon in the early afternoon hours. So if on Saturday you're on the coast and you experience a light sprinkle or some drizzle, just passing, don't be surprised, but don't cancel outdoor plans over it. And it looks like it tries to clear out here as we take you into your Sunday. So the second half of the weekend for the coast looking a little bit better than the first half, but of course for all of us, it's looking pretty nice. All right, so we do have that storm system still kind of riding to our north. High pressure. I mean, if you look at a little bit of the arc right here, that's the high pressure. So that's still fairly dominant here throughout the weekend. That's what's going to keep us mainly dry, as I mentioned here, through the weekend as well. But you see all of this activity off to the west. It has its eyes on Northern California, but that doesn't mean it's going to make its way here. You see a little piece of energy breaking off by Tuesday of next week. This may be just enough, coupled with this area of low pressure here, to bring just enough instability for maybe a light shower for some of us in the mountains on Tuesday, especially for the north. All right, so again, I'm not really sold that this is going to be a big deal. This is that time of the year where we begin to see chances for those afternoon showers and thunderstorms in the mountains, but not so much for the valley. Now, this is obviously good for those cool April night show, the show and shines, right? But what I've got my eyes on is this system coming in on Thursday. Now, there is some consistency in at least something kind of kicking through sometime around the middle to latter part of next week. And this would be when we see the best chance for a little bit of light activity for the valley. So I would say sometime within the Wednesday through Friday time frame, the valley may see some activity. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be every one of those days, but sometime within that day, I am seeing some consistency in a stronger system, if you will, coming through. When I say stronger, it's still not strong. It's just going to be stronger than the light showers that we may see for some of the mountains. But bottom line, we'll have to kind of watch that, and especially if you have a show and shine going on sometime around Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Of course, you know you got the Cool April Nights cruise on Friday as well. Now, based on this particular forecast model, we may see a bit of a north wind setup. So the main concern might not necessarily be the rain for the cruise, but maybe the winds a little gusty. But I think more people would prefer the wind over the rain when it comes to those cars out there. But again, as we really go into early next week, we're going to start getting a better handle on what it looks like towards the end of next week. But bottom line, I am seeing, and I've been talking about it the last few days, the potential for some rain. It's not looking all that promising for at least a lot of rain. So we're kind of trending wetter, or we're leaning towards that wetter solution here, especially down to our south and east, but not so much over us. You can see it barely kind of gets it in there in that chance for above normal rainfall. And of course, I do expect, and there's a lot more confidence in those cooler temperatures going into next week. Is it going to be the drastic change we saw last week where it was like 80 degrees and then 60 the next day? No, it's going to be more of a gradual drop in temperatures through next week. And we look at the wave heights, and you can see here, they're fairly low here for today. But notice through the day on Saturday, still fairly low, but we do have some approaching higher wave heights coming in by the second half of the weekend. Your winds today from the north at 5 to 10 knots. There's your high and low tide, and no advisories for today. All right, here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 70s. Gorgeous. I think some of us could touch that 80-degree mark. Same thing for the inland areas, otherwise mainly upper 70s there, and in the 50s and 60s along the coast. 60 degrees out in Crescent City, 61 for McKinleyville. Yeah, we could see about 80, 81, 82 for Hoopa, Willow Creek. Orleans about 76 degrees. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Those temperatures in the mid-70s, although give or take, right, because you're talking 79 for Happy Camp, but some of those higher elevations off to the north and east where we see the typically cooler temperatures in the upper 60s there. For Modoc County, there's your neighborhood forecast there. Those temperatures mainly in the upper 60s. And your eastern mountains, upper 60s to low 70s. Your typical kind of temperature spread. The Shingletown kind of does that elevation from about 2,000 to even over 4,000 feet. So you see those really big temperature spreads. So Shingletown, at 3,500 feet, yeah, you're at about 73. But Viola, you know, up the hill there, you're at about 65. 74 degrees for Paradise, 70 for Kronberg, as well as Janesville, and 72 degrees in Susanville. We take you out to your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south, brought to you by NorCal Tractor. Temperatures will be in the low 80s, so it's going to be on the warm side out there. Drink plenty of water to keep yourself hydrated if you're doing anything outdoors. 82 degrees for the city of Shasta Lake, 81 for Red Bluff, and Whiskeytown about 78 degrees. So we look at that 7-day outlook for Redding, and again, its temperature is low to, I mean, honestly, we could see some mid-80s in there, especially by Sunday and even into Monday. And then temperatures start to gradually drop. We're back down to the 70s by Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe even into the 60s by next Thursday with that chance for showers.